You know, there's a moment in life when you realize just how precious every heartbeat truly is. Maybe it's when you're out in the garden and suddenly your chest feels heavy, or perhaps it's late at night and an unfamiliar pain shoots through your arm. The scary truth is, heart attacks don't always happen when someone else is around to help. And if you're over 60, knowing what to do in those critical moments could mean the difference between life and, well, the unthinkable. That's why today, we're talking about something every senior needs to know: how to survive a heart attack when you're alone. Now, I know this isn't the most cheerful topic, but stick with me, because what you're about to learn could save your life. We'll go over 7 life-saving tips, starting with the most important steps you should take the moment you suspect something's wrong. First things first, recognizing the signs. You've probably heard that chest pain is the big red flag, and that's true, but a heart attack can whisper before it shouts. Maybe it's a squeezing pressure in your chest, like someone sitting on you. Or it could be pain that travels down your left arm, up into your jaw, even into your back. Some people feel dizzy, break out in a cold sweat, or suddenly can't catch their breath. Women especially might just feel overwhelmingly tired or nauseous out of nowhere. The key here: don't talk yourself out of it. If something feels off, trust your body. It's better to be wrong than to wait too long. Now, let's say you do recognize the signs. What's the very next thing you should do? Call for help. I know it sounds obvious, but here's the problem. When panic sets in, even the simplest actions get muddled. If you're alone, grab your phone immediately and dial emergency services. Don't call your daughter first. Don't wait to see if it passes. Every second counts. If you can't speak, leave the line open. Dispatchers can often trace the call. And here's a tip. If you live alone, keep a list of emergency contacts right by your phone or programmed into speed dial. Make it as easy as possible, because in that moment, fumbling through your address book could cost you precious time. While help is on the way, there's something else you can do to buy yourself time: chew an aspirin. Now, I'm not a doctor, and you should always check with yours about whether aspirin is safe for you. But if it is, keeping a low dose, 81 milligrams aspirin nearby can be a game changer. When you chew it, not swallow whole, it works faster to thin your blood, which can help slow down a heart attack. Just one though, no need to overdo it. Tuck a small bottle in your medicine cabinet, your purse, or even your glove compartment. You hope you'll never need it, but if you do, you'll be glad it's there. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you: staying calm. I know, easier said than done, right? But here's the thing. Panic makes your heart work harder, and that's the last thing you want right now. So as soon as you've called for help, focus on your breathing. Slow, deep breaths. Picture someone you love, or a place that makes you happy. If you can, sit down, but don't lie flat. A slightly upright position takes pressure off your heart. And if you're near a front door, unlock it. That way, when help arrives, they won't waste time trying to get to you. We've covered recognizing the signs, calling for help, taking aspirin, and staying calm. 4 crucial steps that could save your life. But there's more to it, especially when you're on your own. So let's keep going and talk about what to do while you wait for help to arrive. You've called for help. You've taken an aspirin. You're doing your best to stay calm. Now, the waiting begins. And I won't sugarcoat it. Those minutes can feel like hours. But what you do while waiting can make all the difference. So let's talk about the next steps to keep yourself as safe as possible until help arrives. First, don't try to tough it out. I know how easy it is to think, maybe it's just indigestion, or I don't want to make a fuss. But here's the hard truth. Heart attacks don't care about pride. If you're alone and suspect something's wrong, act fast. Don't try to drive yourself to the hospital. Don't decide to walk it off. Even if the pain comes and goes, that doesn't mean you're in the clear. Some heart attacks come in waves, and the next one could be worse. So stay put. Stay on the phone with emergency services if you can, and let them guide you. Now, let's talk about positioning. You might have heard that lying down is best, but that's not always true. If you're struggling to breathe, which can happen during a heart attack, lying flat can actually make it harder. Instead, try sitting on the floor with your back against a wall or a piece of furniture. Bend your knees slightly and rest your arms on them. This takes some strain off your heart and lungs. If you're feeling faint though, lying down with your legs slightly elevated can help keep blood flowing to your brain. Listen to your body. If one position makes things worse, adjust gently. Another thing to keep in mind, don't eat or drink anything, except for that aspirin we talked about earlier. You might think a sip of water could help, but if things take a turn and you need emergency treatment, having food or liquid in your stomach can complicate things. And definitely no alcohol. It can thin your blood too much, especially if you've already taken aspirin. Just stay still, stay focused on your breathing, and wait for the professionals. Here's something else that's important. Make yourself easy to find. If you live alone, first responders need to get to you as quickly as possible. If you're able, turn on an outside light, unlock your front door, and if you have a medical alert system, press the button. If you don't have one, consider keeping a brightly colored card or sign near your door that says, "Help, Heart Attack" in big letters. That way, if you can't speak when help arrives, they'll know exactly what's happening. It's a small thing, but in an emergency, small things matter. Now, let's talk about energy conservation. A heart attack is like your body running a marathon it didn't train for. Your heart is struggling, and every extra movement makes it work harder. So once you're in a safe position, don't move around. No pacing, no trying to pack a bag, no searching for your insurance card. All of that can wait. Your only job right now is to stay as still and calm as possible. If you have a phone nearby, keep it within reach in case you need to update emergency services, but otherwise just focus on slow, steady breaths. We've covered a lot so far, from calling for help to staying put and conserving energy, but there are still a few more life-saving tips you should know, especially when it comes to preparing ahead of time, so you're never caught off guard. So let's keep going and talk about how to set yourself up for the best possible outcome. By now, you know the most critical steps to take during a heart attack. Recognizing the signs, calling for help, taking aspirin, staying calm, and positioning yourself safely. But here's the thing. Surviving a heart attack isn't just about what you do in the moment. It's also about what you do before it ever happens. That's why our last few tips are all about preparation. Because when every second counts, being ready can mean the difference between fear and confidence, between helplessness and control. Let's start with your medical information. If you live alone, first responders need to know your health history fast, especially if you can't speak. Keep a clearly written list somewhere obvious, like on your fridge or taped near your front door. Include your name, age, allergies, medications, and any major conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or past heart issues. If you have a pacemaker or stents, write that down too. This isn't just helpful, it's vital. In an emergency, you might not remember details, or worse, you might be unconscious. A single sheet of paper could save precious minutes. Next, let's talk about technology. If you don't have a medical alert system, now's the time to consider one. There are simple, affordable options, pendants or wristbands with a button that connects you to emergency services. Some even detect falls automatically. If that's not for you, at least keep your phone on you as much as possible. Not on the kitchen counter, not charging in another room, in your pocket or around your neck. And if you have a smartphone, learn how to use emergency features. For example, iPhones can automatically call 911 if you press the side button rapidly 5 times. Android phones have similar options. A few minutes of setup today could save your life tomorrow. Here's another tip people often overlook. Practice. That's right. Just like a fire drill, rehearsing what you do in a heart attack can make your reaction faster and calmer when it really happens. Sit down and visualize the steps. Feel the pain. Call 911. Chew the aspirin. Sit down, breathe. Run through it in your head a few times. It might feel silly, but when panic strikes, muscle memory kicks in. You'll be glad you did it. Now let's address recovery. If you do survive a heart attack, the next 24 hours are critical. You'll need support, someone to drive you home from the hospital, help with medications, and watch for warning signs. Arrange this in advance. Talk to a family member, friend, or neighbor now so they know what to do if the time comes. Write down their contact info next to your medical details. And if you live alone, consider a short-term stay with someone after a cardiac event. You shouldn't be alone during those first fragile days. Finally, the most important tip of all, don't ignore the little signs. So many seniors dismiss shortness of breath as just aging or chest discomfort as probably gas. But your body whispers before it screams. If something feels off, get it checked. No doctor will ever scold you for being cautious. And if you've had heart issues before, ask your doctor about a personal action plan, what to watch for, when to call, and what meds to keep on hand. Knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. So let's wrap this up. You've just learned 7 life-saving steps: recognizing symptoms, calling 911, taking aspirin, staying calm, positioning yourself, preparing in advance, and listening to your body. None of this is complicated, but all of it matters. And here's what I want you to remember. You're not helpless. Even alone, even after 60, you have the power to fight back. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone you know ever faced a heart attack? What helped? Share your story in the comments, because your experience could help someone else. And if this video gave you even one useful tip, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe for more honest, practical advice for living your best life after 60. After all, every day is a gift. Let's make sure you're here to enjoy as many as possible. Take care of that heart. It's the only one you've got. Do subscribe to keep the circle growing.